Number 8. Bloodletting for health. Imagine going to the doctor with a headache, and instead of Tylenol, they hand you a knife. For centuries, people believed draining blood from your body cured almost everything. Fever, infections, even a bad mood. The logic was that your body's humors needed balancing, so slicing open a vein was considered good medicine. Spoiler, it wasn't. Patients often died faster from the treatment than from the disease. Here's the kicker. You still see echoes of this today. Ever heard of detox teas or those sketchy cleansing trends? They promise the same thing. Purge the bad stuff, restore balance. The difference is now you're paying $30 a box instead of bleeding out on a medieval table. Psychologists call this purification obsession. Our brains love the idea that suffering equals healing. The truth? Your liver already does the detoxing for free. Bloodletting is basically history's way of saying, we had no clue, but we liked stabbing people. Humanity may have ditched the leeches, but the marketing hasn't changed much. Number 7. Astrology as GPS. Thousands of years ago, rulers made decisions, wars, marriages, taxes, based on star charts. If Mars was in retrograde, your wedding might get postponed. Astrologers were treated like scientists, and people believed the universe whispered secrets through the zodiac. Fast forward, and guess what? You're still checking horoscopes before job interviews? Sure, nobody's deciding crop harvest based on Sagittarius anymore, but Mercury retrograde is basically a modern excuse for why your Wi-Fi sucks. Psychologists call this pattern seeking. Your brain craves meaning, so you see cosmic signs in random star movements. Is astrology fun? Absolutely. Is it science? About as much as fortune cookies. Ancient people looked to the sky because they didn't have weather apps. You look because it feels comforting to think the universe has a plan. Reality check. Your career doesn't collapse because you're a Pisces. It collapses because you keep showing up late. The stars aren't ruining your life, Netflix binges are. Number 6. Sacred cows and taboos. In ancient societies, some animals became untouchable. Not just sacred, but beyond criticism. Killing or even disrespecting them was believed to curse entire communities. And while that sounds distant, humans still hold on to modern versions. Ever notice how people lose their minds if you suggest pineapple doesn't belong on pizza? That's the same energy. Psychologists call this sacralization, when people elevate an idea, symbol, or object so high that logic can't touch it. Ancient villagers thought breaking a taboo doomed their harvest. Today, breaking a cultural food rule just dooms your social life. The truth is, many of these taboos started for practical reasons, protecting scarce animals, enforcing hygiene, creating group identity. But centuries later, we repeat them without remembering why. You may not worship cows, but you worship coffee, sports teams, or your smartphone brand with the same blind devotion. Humans never outgrew sacred nonsense, we just upgraded it to Wi-Fi. Number 5. Fortune-telling with objects. Picture an ancient priest dropping bones, shells, or tea leaves, then announcing your destiny. People trusted these rituals with their lives. Should you go to war, start a marriage, plant crops, toss the bones and see? It sounds absurd. Until you realize you still do it. Ever flip a coin to decide dinner? Shuffle tarot cards just for fun? Or take a BuzzFeed quiz to learn your spirit vegetable? Congratulations! You're practicing modern divination. Psychologists call this decision outsourcing. When choices overwhelm you, your brain prefers randomness dressed up as wisdom. It feels like fate chose for you, which reduces regret. Ancient shamans claimed the gods spoke through dice. You claim the universe wanted you to order tacos instead of pizza. Either way, it's nonsense, but it soothes your anxious brain. The only difference is you're less likely to get sacrificed if your coin flip goes wrong. Number 4. Alchemy Dreams. Centuries ago, brilliant minds wasted their lives trying to turn lead into gold. Alchemists weren't just playing science. They were chasing immortality, secret formulas, and magical shortcuts. Spoiler, none of it worked, but the obsession with alchemy still lingers in disguise. Every time you buy a miracle supplement, invest in a get-rich-quick scheme, or believe some productivity hack will change everything, you're basically practicing modern alchemy. Psychologists call this magical thinking, the tendency to believe in shortcuts where none exist. Real progress, whether in wealth, health, or happiness, is painfully slow. But humans hate waiting, so we dress up fantasies as formulas. Ancient alchemists locked themselves in smoky labs. You lock yourself into YouTube rabbit holes promising six-pack abs in 6 minutes. Different tools, same delusion. Alchemy's lesson? Humans would rather chase glittery nonsense than do boring work. And honestly, we're still terrible at learning that. Number 3. Ritual sacrifices. Imagine your crops failing, and the community decides the best fix is tossing someone, or something, into a fire to please invisible sky gods. Ancient civilizations performed elaborate sacrifices believing it guaranteed rain, fertility, or military victory. Today, we may not burn goats on altars, but don't fool yourself. We still sacrifice. Think about pulling all-nighters to please the boss, skipping sleep for exams, or trading health for career. Psychologists call this transactional thinking, believing you can pay pain up front for rewards later. Ancient people thought the universe kept score. You think your company does. Spoiler, neither cares as much as you hope. In reality, sacrifice feels meaningful because suffering convinces your brain it must be valuable. But giving up health for imaginary gains? That's just the modern version of tossing a goat into a volcano. Only less dramatic and with way worse coffee. Number 2. Obsession with omens. Ancient people believed every random event carried meaning. A bird flying east? Good harvest. A sneeze at the wrong time? Cancel the wedding. Life was basically one giant fortune cookie. Today, humans are still addicted to omens. We just call them signs from the universe. You see repeating numbers on a clock, hear a song lyric that feels like a message, or avoid a deal because it's bad vibes. Psychologists call this apophenia, the brain's compulsion to find patterns where none exist. It gives you the illusion of control in a chaotic world. But let's be real. The universe isn't sending messages through your Spotify shuffle. It's just your anxious brain connecting dots that aren't there. Ancient people panicked if owls hooted at night. You panic if Mercury goes retrograde. Same superstition, different packaging. Omens don't predict the future. They just expose how desperate we are for meaning. Number 1. Immortality Quests. From Chinese emperors swallowing mercury pills to medieval nobles chasing the elixir of life, humanity has always been obsessed with cheating death. Spoiler, all those immortality hacks just killed people faster. Mercury didn't grant eternal youth. It granted eternal stomach pain. But here's the kicker. You're still doing it. Anti-aging creams, cryotherapy chambers, supplements promising cell regeneration. It's all just immortality marketing 2.0. Psychologists explain this as mortality denial. Your brain hates the idea of death, so it clings to anything that whispers, not yet. Ancient rulers wasted fortunes on alchemists. You waste fortunes on overpriced serums that smell like cucumbers. The uncomfortable truth? Death isn't optional. But our refusal to accept that keeps the immortality industry thriving. If history proves anything, it's that humans will happily drink poison as long as someone promises. It adds 5 years. Spoiler, it doesn't. It's